Tackle it. Here with some advice starting your own business. This guy right here, Andy Crouppen of Brown & Crouppen. Good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. I have worked for very small employers. I have never had the guts myself to become a business owner, a small employer. I hear everyone talking about you got to have the business plan in place. What is that? Why is that so important?
You know, there are a lot of steps. Before we get to that, I think before you even get to the business plan, the first thing you got to do is take a look at yourself and see, are you the kind of person who can work for yourself? Should you be starting a business? I think everyone has this romantic idea they're going to start a business.
Be their own boss.
Yeah. I think if you're very hardworking, very organized, and have some confidence, I think you can succeed in your own business. But make sure you're that kind of person. Just like there are a lot of people who go to work every day who probably shouldn't work for anybody else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not you.
Yeah, well, but we know those
Anyway,
people.
A business plan. You want to have something more than just, well, let's see, if I sell 10 of these and I make, you want to put it in writing. You want to kind of figure out what your costs are. Every cost. I'm talking website, letterhead, business cards, how much your goods or service is going to cost you, what kind of employees, how much can you sell these things for, how much can you charge for your service. You want to have goals. You want to have long-term, short-term goals. You just want to have a neatly tailored plan in writing that you can refer back to and set realistic goals. You know, set it for half of what you think you can sell, not double what you think you can sell, because you want to make sure this is a sustainable business. This is the time to plan and make sure that you're going to be around in 6 months.
And remember, this may not, in the end, be for your eyes only, because when you go to ask for money, if you need some capital to start this business up, the lender might want to see that business plan, yeah?
Absolutely. You know, there are a couple different ways to get money. Some people borrow from friends and family, which has its obvious pros and cons.
Yeah.
But most people go out and either through the Small Business Administration or for special programs tailored for women business owners and minority business owners, there are ways to go out and borrow money. You're going to generally need to present a business plan, not just tell somebody why it's a great idea. They're going to want to see something in writing, because that's the first step to how organized your business is going to be and how well run it's going to be, is how well you've thought it out and planned it ahead of time when you're going to ask somebody for money.
Because as you've probably heard in the media, in general, lenders are not just throwing money around right now. They're going to be pretty cautious about who they lend to, obviously. And then we get to the point of really formalizing this. There's some paperwork involved here. You're on the legal end of things. What's the advice there? How do we tackle that?
Well, you know, all roads seem to lead to the Secretary of State. You're going to need business licenses. You're going to need potentially insurance. You're going to not only have to check with the state, but you're going to also check with the city you live in or municipality. And I think, read between the lines there, what's your address? We want to make sure we get our tax dollars.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and you don't want to get in any trouble. You're starting a new business. You don't want a year down the line to not have done everything properly, maybe miss out on some sales tax, and now a successful business is failing because you didn't along the way pay what you needed to. Secretary of State's office is also where they can help you incorporate your business, which, depending on the type of business you're starting, some people are starting small, never have any aspirations of being anything bigger, but if you want this to be something that has potential for growth and you have a big picture in mind, incorporate, do it right.
There you go. How to start a business in about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel a little more confident now. Thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate it. We have posted links to other helpful resources for starting a small business on our website.